Hey, good morning to those of you out there on the West Coast. Good afternoon to those of you here on the East Coast with me. It is a nice day out there, so that always puts me in a good mood right after Easter here. Um, we're going to get started in just a second. I appreciate you putting your comments into chat, letting us know who you are. You're going to see why that's really important today. For those of you here early, I really want you to pay attention to that. But I wanted to share just a tip before we get started. For those of you here on time, early and on time, I really appreciate that. It helps LinkedIn push the word out. We have almost 200 people registered for today's session. And when you're here and you're chatting and you're engaging, LinkedIn goes, oh, hey, it's live. Let's go tell everybody else who registered. But here's the tip I'm going to share with you really quick. I wanted to point this guy out. Hopefully I'm sharing my screen the right way. Right here, this is an interview with somebody that literally a customer of mine reached out to me this morning. So today is Monday, the 21st, right? They just reached out and they said, hey, I'm trying to get hold of these people and our PEO Enterprise, Army place. Anyways, gave me the person's name. And so we're doing some research and I happened to look, and I'm always looking for a tag. And here's the tip. Take a second to find a connection. It doesn't have to be an odd thing, but right here, it's like, do you have any book recommendations? And the person we're trying to get a meeting with writes back, it's like, oh, I'm reading Power of 10. So she's talking about it. The author is the youngest of 10 children. It's her sister, and I am the ninth youngest. So I'm discussed in the ninth chapter. And the reason I love this is because I'm number 9 out of 10 kids. I have a twin brother, ironically. So we're 9 and 10 out of 10 kids. That just instantly creates a message that I can say, hey, can I get 15 minutes of your time? I guarantee you they're going to open it. It's just enough to pull it in. It's something similar to like, oh, hey, I was in the Army, you're in the Army, maybe we can connect, or college that you went to, et cetera. So just a tip for those of you showing up early and on time, is try to find that connection when you're doing networking, you're reaching out to people. I'm going to dive into training today in a different way than than I generally do. Generally, I have PowerPoint slides and I go through 3 main slides. I'm driving my points home. But today is more tactical than normal. It's always tactical with a level of concept and strategy around it, but tactical so you can have actionable next steps. But today I'm going to go very tactical in how I analyzed 1,000 plus RFIs in 30 minutes and going through those, and came out with like 44 or 46 ones that are fits, not just fits for me, but fits for other people. And that's really important because when I look at RFIs in SAM, I'm talking about at the moment, but you could stretch that to any contract vehicle you have. When I look at SAM and I can see that SAM has 1,000 RFIs that are due in the next 30 days, one of the benefits of me looking at a lot of them is that I can find RFIs that you might find valuable. And maybe you didn't have time to look like this week, this month, you're busy with family or heads down on a proposal, whatever it is. We miss RFIs all the time just because we didn't see them. But if I happen to see it and I see, let me find somebody who's got there. So Rich Brooks, he says, we do in-person and virtual courses in data analytics. And so if I see anything that's data analytics, then I might send it over to him, right? Or courses. He's got some courses in there. And by the way, this is why I say use 2 or 3 words that sink in to everybody else's mind. That's a really important way to get the rest of us to remember what you sell. You don't need us to know a whole big paragraph, right? 2 or 3 words will really help. By the way, if you don't know who I am, my name is Neil McDonald. I am the president of the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. I'm co-founder of GovCon in a Box, and I want to welcome you to my federal sales training where I provide tips for success in the federal market. I spent 20 years in the federal market as a small business owner, and since 2018, I've been teaching people like you that government contracting is not a secret. It's just a process. Part of that process is going through RFIs and responding to RFIs. And so we'll talk about that. Today is not an RFI lesson. It's about processing a bunch of RFIs, finding it. I have other trainings where I talk about how to respond to RFIs. I have other trainings of how do you avoid RFIs going into the black hole and never hearing from the government buyer again. So I have a lot of trainings around RFIs, but today's training is about how do I look at a lot of them and quickly go through them. We call this triaging, a triage approach, where you're looking at a bunch of stuff and you're just setting it aside. This gets a little morbid for a second, but a triage on a, if you think about on a battlefield, will they live or will they not live? We need to put the energy to the ones we can save, and we pray for the ones we can't, kind of thing. Well, it's the same thing with your when you triage RFIs in SAM and you're looking at 1,000 of them, is which ones are worth another minute of looking at, another 2-3 minutes of looking at, and which ones are just a no deal. And so for me, anything with parts, for example, no deal. I don't know anything about it. I don't know many people except for Elizabeth Waters, who might be in here, but she, I think, does manufacturing of the parts. But so there's certain things you'll know. I'm going to go through that today. So if you're just getting here now, we're pushing well over 100 people, and that's exciting. I'm going to walk through how I look at RFIs really fast and how I use RFIs to also build relationships. This guy, Harvey Mackay, wrote a book called Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. And it's a networking book, and it's about finding and building relationships. And it doesn't have to be deep relationships. It's your church, it's your neighborhood, it's your office. It's with the people you do business with, like dentists, lawyers, doctors, whatever. All of that is a network. We are a network, right? I'm looking at Nicole and Will Smith, Frank McGuire, and people in the chat, right? These are your network. There's over 100 people here live today. And so if you do a couple of words to say, hey, here's what we do. Like Hillary is Sea Hill Consulting Group, a woman-owned small business doing full cycle staffing firm, and also on a GSA schedule. So just in a couple of words, I'm like, okay, there, we know what she does and what her firm does. Well, this is networking. When you put that in, she's letting people know who she is. And when she engages with maybe Nicole from Tampa, Florida, professional services at Diamond Solutions Professionals, right? Maybe Hillary's just engaged with saying, oh, hey, I got another, friend down there in Florida, blah, 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 whatever, however you network, right? That's not today. So anyways, make sure you engage. The other thing about dig your well before you're thirsty is RFIs can be that same way as networking, because RFIs are one of the easiest ways to get in to a federal buyer and talk to them. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. All right, before I run out of time, I do want to share, I'm going to start sharing my screen. We're going to go in and dive into it. I do want to let you know that tomorrow there's training, especially if you're talking about networking. I got 100 people already signed up, 134. But email templates that federal buyers open. If you feel like you're sending emails out and they're not getting open, that's a good training. Wednesday, the training is not hitting your federal revenue goals. Here's a simple way to check on why. Thursday, how to get federal agencies to call you back instead of ghosting you. If you've ever feel like, they're just ghosting you, I'll give you some tips on that. And then the last one is government contractors on Friday. We're told we must build relationships, but how do we build those relationships? I'm going to show you on Friday ways you can build those relationships. So go register for all of those and join us. All right. And this is let me go over to SAM. Oh, man, don't do this to me. Look at all those errors. Oh, come on. Live training. It's going to kill me. I know what the problem is. Come on, Sam, you're killing me. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen 1 second. I got to sign in. You ever wonder if it's live? You can tell it's live when I make a mistake. I had all this SAM stuff open and registered, and I logged in so it would be easier. And what does SAM do right before I do training? It logs me right back out. Just when I think I'm in, they kick me back out. Okay, I just got a 524031. 524031. Submit that guy, reactivate everything. Oh, man. Come on. Okay, so at least this one's good. Let me go back, share my screen really quick. All right, sorry for that interruption, but we're back. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through a lot of these opportunities, but what I really wanted to do is get you back here. I usually have, actually, I can show you how I do this fast. If I come over here to, let's just say email templates, I'm going to go here. I'm just getting to my normal SAM link. If you didn't see, I put this out this morning. So I just put this out this morning, by the way. This is what we're talking about. How did I go through 125? That was yesterday. Today, this morning, it's 1,016. So I'm going to grab this guy. this link, copy this link, go back to Sam. I know I'm moving fairly fast, but I wanted to get you to where I start. Okay, so there's 1,038. This morning there's 1,016. First thing I want to say is I absolutely recommend that you search through all 1,038. And so let's deal with that one little, quasi-controversial statement. I make this statement and I put it out there saying you should browse through those. And the reality is that is a very good idea. There are also other good ideas on how to look at RFIs. But one idea that I don't particularly agree with is automating the process of looking at RFIs with tools. And I literally am building a tool that is going to automate it, but I'm doing it in a way that can automate it like a human instead of automating it like a computer. What I mean by this is you don't want to just look for keywords and NAICS codes, because sometimes you miss an opportunity that's good for you. Or like I want to show you today, you miss opportunities that are good for your network, right? And so there's a lot of different ways you can look at RFIs, but what I'm recommending is you browse through those 1,016 or whatever opportunities or RFIs that are due in 30 days. And then every morning you come back and you spend 5 minutes and you look at the 20 or 30 or 40 new ones. Every day there's not 1,000 new ones. There's just 20 or 30 or 40 new ones. You could browse through that in 5-10 minutes, right? And the value of browsing through it is you find stuff for you and for others. So let me go back here. I'm going to walk through as many of these as I can in the next 20 minutes. And my purpose for doing this is to show you why I selected it. Like I have 40 different opportunities that are open that are RFIs. I want to tell you, what was I thinking when I saw that one, so that it begins to maybe teach you a way that you can go through RFIs. So if you haven't done this before, I'm on sam.gov. I go to search. I set up a little filter here where I'm just saying, show me active sources sought that are due in the next month. That's it. That's the whole search. And what I recommend you do is you come up here and you can save the search. So if you save the search, you can come back and just run it again every morning. It's very, very fast process. Once you get into a rhythm of it, it's less than 15 minutes a morning, and it's so helpful. Second thing I do is I quickly come down here where it says show 25 results, and I say show me 100. So once I've done that, then, I have a touch screen, so I almost started doing this, but I just start scrolling down. I look at each one of these. I go slower than you're seeing me go, but I go like that. Literally, I look at every 100. So let's start every one of the 1,000. So let's just start working our way forward. And I'm just going to start telling you what I see. So this one here, I saw operational test and training infrastructure, RFI. And so I pulled this one up because I know people in our community that are training. And I said, let me look at that. I don't know anything about it. And I might come down here and look just really quickly and go, does it have more? In today's training, I'm not going to show you the description of each one. I just want to show you the titles and how I go through, because you'd be amazed at what I find. But right here, I can look at this one set of paragraphs and get a good idea of, will this be helpful for me, my customers, or my friends? And in this case, our network is our friends, right? Okay, so let me go to the next one. You're killing me. Can I go here? You're killing me. And I can't change that. That's going to drive me nuts. Okay, so, and I hate to do that to you. All of these tabs that I had prepared are gone. So, it's an embarrassing thing, but I could show you live instead. Okay, so let's cruise through this, and I'm going to show you live. And feel bad about it, but not that bad. I can't do anything. So I'm going to scroll in like this, and let me close these guys really quick. Just get them all out of my way. I'm just closing all this junk, and I feel really bad because I did it all. I had it all saved, and it went away. I know what the problem was. Just as I'm killing these, I restarted my computer for this training to make sure I was starting fresh. And apparently I lost all the links, but that's okay. I'm here for you. All right, so I'm going to keep going down. I don't see anything. I'm looking at these. Hopefully you can see them like me, but I'm going to tell you what I see ones that just pop up. And it can seem like odd. It's like, why are you wasting your time looking at grease traps? It doesn't matter. When I look at this, I start seeing many, many different things that I just learned from it, and things pop into my head. Like this firefighting engine, for example. I might not know anything about it, but I go into a networking event and somebody says something and I see it. Right here, I'll pull this one up because I know Barry and his company does, and he's in our community. They do office furniture. I'm like, okay, I haven't talked to Barry in a little bit. I can send that over and say, hey, I just saw this. I don't know if you saw that. Renovation, I don't pay attention to. I'm coming down on construction. I'm avoiding. Light boom video integration. I'm actually going to select that because Patrick, who's in our in GovCon in the Box in our subscription, I know he does that, and I actually had got him into the public affairs office, so I know he does that kind of work, and so I could just put that on his radar. Here, I'm looking at visiting aircrew facility support services. That seems a little bit more like construction. I'm going to pass it down. A lot of stuff that'll be out of country, but that's okay. I don't need to filter it at a moment. Okay, so there's Spain. By the way, you can't choose what happens to you. You can only choose what you do. And I'm trying to keep a really good attitude about the fact that I lost all that, 40 things. Here's operational test and training infrastructure, right? I don't currently know what it is. Oh, is that the same one as this guy? No, it was the one I had open a minute ago. Good. These ones, I pull these up all the time. When I come through here, I bet you I'll see like 5 of them. And this is VA. I can see this pattern. It's like, okay, VA's doing, I'm assuming this is with, who are they doing this with? If we come in here, they're doing some sort of one-on-one with people, communities of interest, but it's a one-on-one event, virtual one-on-one event. And I know a lot of people would be interested in that. So I want to let them know. Let me come down. This is assembly. I can just read these pretty fast. So I know I'm moving pretty fast. But I want to show you ones that I know a lot of you would probably be attracted to. So there's another small business event. I would pull that up. Each one of these tends to have a different, like sometimes there's GDIT or Lockheed or whoever that are coming in. Let me keep going. So here's National Nuclear Communication Support Services. That's something that I was standing up earlier this year and working on, and a lot of people reached out to me and said they did that. Well, I can follow back up with them and build a relationship with them because sometimes you want a relationship like right away on an opportunity. Can I be on it? And other times you're just saying, hey, here it is. And maybe later we can work together on a different opportunity. This one's NGA. It looks good, but I'm going to ignore it because they're intelligence. Same thing with this one, an 8A audiovisual. The reason I'm pulling this up again, Patrick, who's in our community and happens to be a customer of mine, but he's been in our community for years and years. He does that. And I know there's multiple 8A companies in here who would be interested. This one here is interesting. Pull it out, but it looks like it might be it's training curriculum. I'm going to keep passing it though. Robotics, intent, installation, integration. So this one here, sources sought for nutrient analysis software program. I'd be looking at that coming out of this, and it's for Indian Health. I can see right away. So these things are pretty good for us to be able to look at. But it's software development, basically, is what I'm thinking it is, and I have to look a little bit further and then decide who would be open for that. Let me keep coming down. Here's more industry days. Right. So industry days are a great way to go in and learn about a particular opportunity. Another reason I like it is because sometimes I can follow up and say, hey, I'm not really tracking on that industry day, or I'm not going to be a prime. I can be a sub. And so I know I can pull those up. Okay. Panels, transmission, end-to-end software development. Right. I probably have 20 people in today's meeting alone that is going to do end-to-end software development. And this is with DHS, which is awesome. So let me just scroll down for 1 second. So here, it's interesting how the descriptions are pretty horrible. There's not much there, but you can go in and dig in really quickly. I'm doing this to show you how fast I can go in to decide if this fits for some of the people I know. So I'm going to just do it like this and come down here. So here's the objectives. Capability to develop and track position descriptions, recruiting. So this one here, just because I opened it, took me, literally less than a minute. I know I want to refer it to some software development firms, but if I'm lucky, also on here are some of my friends from Graham or Sea Hill Consulting. My friend Tracy's out there, all companies doing staffing and recruiting. maybe they'd be interested in this to work with an IT company where they could be the personnel SME, if you will, and somebody else can do the software development. But 2 seconds and I found that. And that one, by the way, easily could go to one of my customers, right? And so if you're somebody in there, same thing here. Let me go down, request for information. Look at this. Like, these things are tough. The request for information, you're like, what is that? What is that title? What does it mean? If you're here and you're tracking on it, you already know what it is, right? But for the rest of us, that title doesn't mean anything. And so what you want to do is slowly start getting a rhythm for understanding what it is. Is it this one? So automatically, I don't know why I missed it before, but Army Corps of Engineers, and I can come in here and really quickly look at nothing. So still, there's not a lot there. I'd have to dig. I actually would bypass that one because it's too much work for me to refer. I'm just looking for the basic stuff. All sorts of people do that groundwork stuff. Here's another industry day service contract. It's funny. I'm looking for the ones that would be really helpful on admin support, etc. So here's another one, office furniture with, I told you Barry who could do that. Here's repairable stuff, just coming down. These are all like, they changed from, ironically, yesterday when I prepared. And so they're a little out of order. Security services, armed services, controller, dredging, intelligence. There's HVAC. Tons of HVAC people come in and out of our training all the time. These are just parts that I was telling you. Those ones don't interest me. Let me keep coming back. I might have to pause and give you like a different, like a recorded thing on this thing, but I'll decide. Actually, tell me right now if you want me to do, like, go back and do this training, but make it a recording and just send it to those of you who showed up. Because, oh, there you go. Look at this. No, that's procurement of products. Here, let me pause. I'm going to come back and I just got to accept something. I want to come back and accept something. First off, keep in mind, this happens even to me. Like, I got things all planned out and it gets all, goes hanky on me or whatever. But if you want me to go back and record it, I had like 44 opportunities that I found were these beautiful ones. When you look at them, you're like, oh, I could see it. And they were kind of lined up for those of you who are in this space. But if you want that video, just for those of you who are here today, if you want that, just put yes, because everybody else won't know what yes means. Elizabeth, that might be a little bit more than everybody's willing to write, but Elizabeth Jenkins has got the point, right? Just put a yes, and I'll go back and knock that out. And while you're doing that, let me tell you about the RFI and why I do this, because demo aside, right? The idea is I can go through there and I found 4 opportunities that were slam dunk for the customer I was looking to help, right? So I went in there for that purpose, administrative support services. 4 opportunities that were slam dunk. And I found 40 others that were related a little bit to them and a lot to others like you out there. And so the idea is when I'm scrolling through, I can find opportunities that are perhaps mislabeled or not the right NAICS code used. And I've done videos on this before where the government will use 5 or 10 different NAICS codes on what you buy. And sometimes they don't even make any sense. An example is the Navy uses 541330, which is engineering. They use that for software development services and on Seaport Next Gen. But other times they use ones that are just way out left field. But the other big thing for me is when you look at RFIs and when you spend 15 minutes every morning looking at RFIs, it should not be longer than every day, unless you're out sick. The first thing you do is you just kind of look at, before you start touching emails, et cetera, you look at SAM and you go, what has changed? You look at your contract vehicles and you say, hey, has anything been added in the last 24 hours? When you do this first pass, you'll get a good rhythm. But then after that, look at every one of them to find opportunities that aren't just good for you, but that are good for everybody else as well. Here's what I want to do for you, because I see a lot of people put yes, and I appreciate your patience. And I really want to do this video for you, but help me make it better for you. In the chat, before we wrap up, in the chat, put what you sell and do it in 2 or 3 words. Like, you know, we sell this service. So for example, I might say my last company, SharePoint support services. Don't say a lot of words. Try to keep it down into, try to keep it down to just 2 or 3 words, because then as I go through RFIs, I can try to keep you guys in mind. What I plan on doing, because I think this video is such a powerful one for me to do and show you why browsing is a very helpful way to look at RFIs. It'll be really great if I can tie it to what you're selling, et cetera. So go ahead and put that in the chat. I sell this. Let me tell you one last thing about looking at RFIs, because I am going to come back and show you, like, when you write RFIs, how do you deal with that ghosting that happens, or the black hole. But the thing about finding RFIs that I really want you to understand about today's training, because I put out this post all the time. Let me see if I still have it. I put out this post that you see sometimes in the morning, like this yellow one. And I put this out once a week, maybe every couple of weeks. And the idea is I'm encouraging and remind you to browse. Keep in mind, though, that this is just one way. There's multiple ways you can find RFIs, but this is one good way. Don't discount any ways. Try to add more ways to your process to be able to lock it down. Okay, I think I'm seeing a lot of good people having a lot of things in there. AI agents, John, will be fun. That's probably my world that I'm looking at. Interior designs. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I got that one. So I'm looking at some of these ones. Audio and visual. So Elizabeth, there was a lot that I found with you. Cyber operations. Where is that? BD connections, automation, governance. Got that. Healthcare technology. So these are perfect. I'm going to do that training, and I'll commit to getting that one done in the next couple of days. Actually, the longest thing will be me taking this chat. Maybe I can use AI to dump the chat, right? Dump the chat, put a bulleted list in there. Oh, Frank McGuire. So a ton of the ones I was finding was for you as well. Here's the last tip I'll give you, and I'll just let us go, is on RFIs. I mentioned this before. RFIs are the easiest way to get before a customer and tell them your value, to tell them something about your company, how you can help them, how you understand their problems, et cetera. It's a meeting with a program office about what you do without them interrupting you or making you feel a little nervous, right? You get to showcase your company and yourself in a response when you send it back to them. So my recommendation for any business, any government contractor, is try to be writing at least one RFI a week. That's at least. Even if you're a single person company, you can write one RFI. I mean, literally, I do these trainings every day. I do these other stuff. We can find time. If I want to do this video, I just promise you, I just won't watch this new Netflix series I had found last night, right? I'll just sit there and do this. We can find the time. But if you find the time to do RFIs around what you sell, those things you put in there, to a single agency and department, you try to keep it in DHS or keep it in the Army, right? If you can focus that, you're going to get a lot of visibility and you're going to find more traction there. Okay, I'm going to wrap up because we're done. We're at the bottom of the hour. I apologize I didn't have that stuff there. But if you held out this long, I will commit to getting a demo of it where it's just perfect, because I'll be able to show you the RFI stuff. I might even turn it into a little mini masterclass for you, 90 minutes of how to find it, and you just decide which parts of it you want to watch. But it's a really important aspect of it. So, okay, as we head into the day, just remember, government contracting, it's not a secret. It's just a process. Part of the process is ending on time. I'm going to get that part right. I'll see you in the next training.